Hi everybody, my name is Pooja. Uh, I put together this webinar because I spotted some interest amongst a lot of people in one of the WhatsApp groups I'm a part of because they were discussing LinkedIn. And this workshop is something that I keep doing very frequently for the people who work with me. I'll quickly introduce you to the work that I do uh, and how it's done and why we are here together to discuss LinkedIn. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. You can also turn your video on, use your mic to engage. The more participative the session is, the more enriching it will be for all of us. We will be quickly hopping onto your LinkedIn as well. So try to keep that ready, whether you're joining from your phone or from your laptop. It would really help if you are quickly able to log in and do a couple of things when we get there. At Oneiro, we work with students for their profile building, career counseling, and test prep. This is mainly for people who are planning to pursue their further higher education. And LinkedIn networking becomes a very important part of the work that students do, primarily for the reason that it helps them put together their profile and make it more than just a CV. If anybody is interested in finding them, looking them up online, and connecting with them, it helps with that for sure. It also helps them network with people internationally, get opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have, and also just have the ability to ask for help or help people whenever and wherever they're able to. So today, um, we are going to talk about a makeover of sorts of your LinkedIn if you already have one, to basically refresh everything, or to set it up if you haven't set up your LinkedIn properly yet. We will go through why is it important to have a LinkedIn, why is it important to network. We'll do a very quick LinkedIn audit in which you will be able to see my profile and then edit your profile according to that. Right. And we will also spend some time discussing what to post on LinkedIn, what to talk about, what kind of people to connect with, and how to find opportunities, all of that. A little bit about myself and my co founder. So, we are joined by Arslan. Both of us, we work at Oneiro as essentially as consultants, as mentors. We help people figure out their journey from the first point to the very last when it comes to figuring out what they want to study, where they want to study, and how do they get there. Aslan, would you like to jump in and say hi?
Hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome to the session. Uh, so the idea behind the LinkedIn workshop, as we have always been doing, is to make you understand why is it important and how to navigate through it. Because one of the biggest problems everybody faces is to try and understand that just for is LinkedIn just for finding jobs, or is it for looking at other people's posts, or if we are posting, how exactly do we post it? The simpler it is, the more difficult it has become because of the amount of things that you keep seeing online on Instagram and everywhere, people talking about networking. What is it all about? So here Pooja is trying to help you, and we are trying to help you break that down, simplify it, and we hope that you know you learn something new today. That is that is the purpose. And yeah, all the best. I hope you have an engaging session, and please ask questions. That is really going to help you and us. So please ask questions by the end of it, and get as many doubts cleared as possible. And hope this really helps out. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Aslan. All right. Um, Moving on, these are a few of the universities where we have helped students achieve their dream careers. If this happens to be on your mind, feel free to have a chat with us. You will find our contact information at the end of the slide by the end of the presentation. Otherwise, feel free to connect with me directly. Now, starting in. So, in one sentence, tell us who you help and how you help them. Basically, you're supposed to write in a very short LinkedIn about section, limited to just one sentence. I want to be able to know how are you going to be useful for me or for anybody. So I want everybody to take a minute and write this down in the chat box. Is that doable? So we want to write one sentence describing ourselves so that everybody in this room gets to know what we do. But the way you have to tell it is by telling us what you can help us with and how. So let's discuss a few of these responses. And on the next slide, we're going to see how you can turn these statements into something that goes on the top of your LinkedIn, basically becomes your LinkedIn headline. I think, Artha, I would like you to start with yours so that you can share with us with what intent have you written the statement and how would you actually use it for your LinkedIn? Because when you write this entire statement, it's actually, first of all, too long to go in your headline section, right?
All right. So my purpose of is to reach out to anybody who is uh, thinking about their career and studying abroad or more globally. So I help them with higher education, more basic terms, and help them actualize that. So my work is basically just that. It is what I've written is more uh, in a more expanded form. So in other words, I can just sum it up by something like higher education consultant.
Right. Makes sense. So Tanya writes, help students accomplish their dreams of studying abroad by writing their documents. By documents, I believe you are referring to any supplemental material that goes with the person's application for an international college. So, Tanya, what would be the best way to summarize this in fewer words now? One of the words for this could be a writer, could be writer and editor, or with a specialization, you could say um, writing to help make your application shine, right? Edit your applications to make them shine. That could be a shorter, more direct way of saying it. All right, thanks. No worries. So moving on, let's look at a few more examples. If you've not been able to think about what you want to write for your headline, let's take a look at a few of the examples that we have. So career coach can say, I help mid-career professionals switch to more fulfilling jobs through resume revamps and interview prep. There are four main parts to this description. Number one, mid-career professionals, which means this person wants to help people who are, let's say, 10 to 15 years into their career, but now want to make a switch. What kind of to a more fulfilling job? It means that the career coach would require to know what is your definition of a fulfilling job and have that much exposure into what kind of switch people can make from one career to another. The next is a more practical service that they're giving, resume revamps and interview prep. You could connect to any four of these points, or you could connect to all of these. But seeing these keywords helps you understand what service is this person giving there, right? Uh, let's look at the one for marketing students. Since a lot of you joining us here right now are students, it does make a sense that you might not right away have a title to assign to your um, LinkedIn. You won't be able to call yourself a coach or an analyst or a manager or an entrepreneur right away. You are right now a couple of years away from deciding what your title is going to be. But in that case, how do you showcase your profile as a student? As a student, your focus is on learning, is on gaining experience and exploration. What is it that you want to explore? If I am, let's say, a recruiter who is looking to hire interns, can I hire you as a marketing intern? Are you showing that much interest in your profile by using the right words for me to understand that that's where what you want to be? Because no profile on LinkedIn is worthless. Even if you don't have the required experience right now, even if you're not job ready right now, you could be internship ready. You could be apprenticeship ready. You could be freelancing. You could be ready for learning, right? But for you to be able to explain that to people, you need to talk about it in those terms, which is easy for somebody to understand. So let's see how do we turn these statements into headlines now. And we'll also understand why it's important to have a headline. You can also screenshot the slide so that it helps you as a reference in the future when you're writing your own headline. So here, the sentence that we read about a mid-career professional, right? Now, how does this person describe themselves on their LinkedIn? Number one, career coach. Second, helping mid-career professionals transition with winning resumes and interviews. So from the first keyword to the next phrase, we are narrowing down on what is it that this person exactly does. Broadly, this person is a career coach. And when we go more into the depth of their profile, we will be able to see how exactly is this career coach perform. The next thing is 300 plus clients. Why do you think this is important to write? How do you think this helps by writing this? And then the next term, XHR at Accenture. So how do these two terms at the end help this person? Shows her experience and credibility correctly. So this helps people understand that with 300 clients, she must be working for a long time in the industry. And, and since she has worked as an HR at a big firm, she would know what is it that other recruiters are looking for in profiles. And as the HR of such a big company, she would know what are the requirements of the various departments or various job profiles at several job levels. This is how this one person has basically given you a very power packed headline to explain how they can help you. And another thing is, why did the previous slide say write something that tells people how you can help them? Because that is essentially what you are in LinkedIn for. It is an exchange of what you offer and what you are seeking. So as long as you're not in the position to offer, be very open with seeking and be very forward with seeking, right? Let's look at the second example. This is coming from a marketing student who is in the offering position right now. So, marketing undergraduate, passionate about brand strategy and digital campaigns, seeking summer internships for 2025, Canva and HubSpot certified. Even without practical job experience, you can take online certifications. You can create some foundation for yourself to be able to say that I am ready to step into a role. When you write marketing undergraduate, you can actually write BBA in marketing with the name of your college, and that makes it a little better, a little more um, personalized that way, right? Now coming to the question that Arshia asked, what should a software engineer student must describe? Um, so Arshia, similar to the second example here, you can write about the course you're pursuing, the college you're from, and the goal you have. Are you looking for internships? Are you looking for somebody to collaborate with you on a project? Are you looking to write a research paper and are looking for guidance on that? So these are a few of the goals that you can write about it. Now, moving on to the next one. What are the features of a good LinkedIn headline? Basically, while writing this, what are the things that you want to keep in mind? So the first one is, like we saw in the previous examples, people who tell what their routine. This could essentially be your position in the organization where you are working. So we have that. The next is value proposition. How is it that you are exactly helping people, right? The most important would be keyword search. Um, the words that you write in your headlines are directly picked up by the by LinkedIn's internal search engine, and these are also picked up by Google. So after a point, it would be actually possible for you to show up on Google for your position. So right now, if you search CEO of Microsoft, right, that person's name will come up with their LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn oftentimes, when you're looking for people, shows up in the top 10 results. And you understand why that's important. That helps people see you as an authority. So being searchable is very, very important. The next thing is that if let's say somebody is hiring for whatever your position is, if you are a marketing intern and people are and somebody is hiring a marketing intern, your profile will be directly matched to that job, and that job will start showing up in your recommended job. The next is credibility marker. When you say you are ex Accenture, when you say you have Canva certification, HubSpot certification, that just really helps people remember you for something. A practical skill that you have, some sort of credibility that you will be able to directly offer to them. And then personal touch. A lot of people like to write about their hobbies, their family, things that keep them occupied. If somebody loves books, if somebody loves nature, again, goes on to show something that you're really, really passionate about. Now, coming on to a very important question, why LinkedIn? So many social networks, so many things to do with our time, our full-time jobs, our full-time education. Why must one take out time for this exercise? I mean, there are better social media platforms to be spending your time at. So, would anybody like to talk about what LinkedIn has been for them in their experience of using it, or what they expect out of it? So, like Tanya said, to find clients for her freelance work and to connect with other writers, maybe to learn from them, maybe to uh, share tips, or just to look at their journeys and learn from that, even if you don't directly connect with them. So, the first reason why there exists a platform such as this is so that your resume has a chance to, first of all, come to life. That it is not a two-dimensional piece of paper which you will have to consciously send to people. Is to make you discoverable, right? It is to make people be able to find you, first of all, and then engage with you. Second, LinkedIn has over a billion users at this point across 200 countries and 69 million registered companies. So practically everybody is on LinkedIn, it seems like that, right? So, what makes it important for you to be here? Number one, to be discoverable, and number two, to be able to discover. You have access to basically any organization and any person in that organization. You have access to them directly via LinkedIn. And the reason why it is easy to approach them is because if you tap somebody on the shoulder in a crowded metro and try to introduce yourself, it would come off a little creepy, right? Because they don't know you, you don't know them. But having some context to be able to quickly look at your profile picture, your headline, skip through your profile, and get an idea of who you are and what you could possibly want puts people at ease. It makes it very easy for you to connect with, right? The third is to keep in touch with people in a professional capacity, your colleagues, your classmates, your faculty, anybody you have met at any point uh, with whom you would like to connect, but in terms of work, right? So that way it really helps. You don't have to necessarily keep in touch with them by always talking to them, but LinkedIn makes it easy for you to keep a check on where people are. And sometimes we do it just for context, right? Then to stay updated, follow trends or join conversations. Um, just like any other social media platform, LinkedIn has its own ups and downs, it has its own trends. Sometimes a lot of these things teach us many things. There are a lot of important conversations happening about work culture, about equity, about equality, about inclusivity. And it's just good to be a part of these. It's good to be a part of discussions that actually make a difference. And LinkedIn is the right platform for that. And lastly, to look out for jobs, internships, or collaborations which are exclusively posted on LinkedIn. Talk to anybody who works in HR at this point before they go to Naukri.com, before they go to Monster.com, or before they shoot an emailer to maybe a list of people with a with a job posting. The first thing that any recruiter does is that they directly post on LinkedIn, and sometimes they only post on LinkedIn. So that is where a lot of job hunt begins and ends. And if you're not there, you're definitely going to miss out on the right hand side of the screen, you can see two screenshots. The first one is from my own dashboard. It shows you how many people have visited my profile in the span of last 90 days. And the number is close to 1500 at this point. So by doing nothing, by just posting on LinkedIn, this is the kind of exposure that I'm getting in a span of 90 days. And this exposure goes up and down depending on the level of activity that I'm doing. And then these are the job recommendations that I see on my dashboard, right? So a lot of these are connected to the keywords that you have written through your profile. Now we are gonna do a very quick thing. We are going to put in our LinkedIn URLs here so that so that all of us can find each other and quickly add each other. Right? And while we do that, there is one very small thing that you have to keep in mind. On LinkedIn, there are two buttons. The first one is follow, as you can see here, right on the profile. And the other one is connect. Sometimes with certain profiles here on the blue spot, you will get the connect button, but sometimes you will get the follow button. It depends on the kind of person you're looking at. Usually, for more famous people, there's a follow button, not a connect button, but can happen with less famous people as well or regular people as well. Now, what is the problem with connect versus follow? Connect is a two-way connection. It gives access to both the people. So you can reach out to them, they can reach out to you, and they will be able to see what you post. But when you follow somebody, it is similar to following somebody on Instagram when they're not following you back, which means whatever they post, you will be able to see. Now, when you send somebody a connection request, you automatically end up following them. So let's say Aman Gupta, if I send him a connection request, I will automatically follow him. Since he already has so many followers, he might not be able to accept my request, but still I will be able to see whatever he is writing about. I'm going to share a lot of tips. I've not added all of them in the PPT, but feel free to make note of whatever seems important to you because there are a lot of small things to focus on. We will start with the profile picture. Unlike other social media platforms, what is recommended for your LinkedIn is that you post a headshot, ideally not a selfie, and even if it is a selfie, your face should be clearly visible. At least this portion of your body should be very clearly visible. People should be able to make out your features. If you're standing too far into the distance, people will not be able to understand who it is. If you're too close into the frame, again, doesn't look very great. Try to not have it from various angles that are taken from the top like this, but rather something that is taken from the front. You don't need to overthink it at all. Just ask somebody to click it for you whenever you have put on a nice shirt, and that should be enough, right? Solid backgrounds work better because it helps your face be more visible. The next thing is your banner. Now, there are a variety of ways in which you can utilize the banner. The way I think that has been ideal for me and has worked out a lot is to have this banner address directly what I do. Because if a person is interested enough in me to land on my profile page, they will be interested enough to read more about me and get more details. So this is my chance to basically create an extension, a visual extension of my headline. So if you look at what I've written here, it is very similar to what my headline currently contains, but like a proposition, like a marketing pitch. That's how it's written. You can see the logo of my organization. That makes it a little easier for people to associate me with my brand. And my direct offering and my achievements are listed in that banner. So it's a summary of everything that you can expect as you scroll my profile. The next thing here will be your about section. Now, your about section, your bio has to be a summary of not your profile exactly. I mean, you will get an opportunity to write about all the opportunities you've had in the past, all the positions you've held in the past, your education and everything. So don't make it read like your CV, but rather utilize that chance to talk about your experiences, your journey so far, and what you are expecting to do. Feel free to add a call to action. Directly write whatever it is that you are offering. I am offering a free consultation. I am offering a free audit. I am up for a coffee chat. I am looking for such and such role. I am open to recruiters getting in touch with me, right? So you can end it with that. Um, Right. Your name and headline. One more thing. Your name should be clearly, properly spelled. It should be spelled exactly in the way in which you want to be found. Your legal name spelled correctly. If you want to try variations and write it down in your native script or language, you can do that. But there will be a limitation as per the search engine because people will most likely search in English. You also now get the option of adding the pronunciation of your name, which I think is very important. So feel free to use that feature as well. The next is your headline, which we have already discussed. But yes, this is what it's going to look like once you make sure that it's up on your profile. So with this, we come to the next question. LinkedIn bana to liya, but who do we add? Who do we talk to? And what do we do with this profile now? So in order to understand that better, I am very quickly going to share my own profile and show you a couple of things that go behind the scenes. right? So bear with me for a minute while I switch screens. Is my LinkedIn visible to everybody?
Just the header, Pooja. Reshare it.
Okay. Perfect.
वहां से उसकी आवाज आई थी, अब नहीं पता वो कहाँ है।
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So let's go over a couple of tabs which are very important to check. Number one is your notifications. Number two is your network tab. In this, you will be able to see the people who have sent you requests and also look at the requests you have sent to people if you want to tag them. So you have the option to do that. But you can also go over your entire connection list from the panel on the left hand side. Now let's think about how to utilize it to find more and more people. You would have added your classmates, your teachers, faculty, your colleagues, seniors, mentors from internships, jobs that you've worked at, friends you have otherwise in life. But how do you expand your professional network beyond that? And how do you do it sensibly? Right? So, speaking from experience, this is what I've done in the last 9 years since I started working professionally. And LinkedIn has been instrumental for me along my journey. I have freelanced a lot. I have worked independently a lot. And through all of that, majority of the work and connections that I've made, the work that I've found, has been through LinkedIn. So let's think about it. Since there are a couple of people here who are interested in marketing and writing, um, what if I want to gain more experience as a writer, as a freelancer, or as an intern in the marketing space, right? So for this, what I can do is I can maybe take up one company such as Fuku. They work in media, right? So I go to their page here, and here you will see there is a people section and a job section. So the first thing is I can look at the job section. There are no jobs right now, but you whatever is there, you will be able to see it directly. So you can dream big, make a list of all the companies you possibly want to work at, open up their pages, look at the jobs they have posted, and just apply. The next is the people section, very, very important. You can do this for universities and for companies. So whether your goals are academic or professional, this is very important. Now here you see 112 people. Out of these 112 people, ideally what I want to do is I want to add people who make decisions for hiring first of all, the people who post jobs and select people, which is the HR. So I'm going to look for the HRs. Second, I'm going to look for department heads. If I want to write, I will look for people who are working in writing or copywriting or head of copy, head of content. I would want to associate with that people. And the third, if you want to be a little more ambitious, look for directly the C-suite people, which means the CEOs or the CXOs of the company, right? So I look at this person. It's a senior content manager and strategist. This is a good person for me to connect with, right? So I can send them a note. Now, in sending a note, you have two options: to add a note, to send without a note. Feel free to use both as you need them. There isn't much of a difference. If you don't have anything to say, just say send without a note. Your chances of getting of your connection getting accepted will obviously increase if you do write a note. Again, I see a social media manager here who would be able to give me more insights about what it is to be a writer here. So I can connect with this person as well. Associate creative director, again, a higher level person in this organization would be good for me to connect, right? So this is an example of what you do when you want to stock companies, basically. Now let's look at a university. So if I go to the page for Harvard, being very ambitious here, I have the option of looking at the alumni there, people who have studied at Harvard already. The advantage of this is that you can find people who are either from the area in which you are interested or are from the geographical location to which you belong. This will directly help you ask any questions that you have, or maybe learn more about the profile. How did this person get to Harvard? What all did they do before they got there, right? So, like I said, when you want to find people, you can add all the people you already know in your life, but it's very, very important to go beyond that and expand your network. Now, when it comes to other social media platforms, let's say Instagram, some people like to add only the people they know in real life. Some people like to add whoever they find interesting, famous or not. It's a personal policy, it's a personal way of using social media. The policy for LinkedIn, however, lies somewhere in the middle. It helps to add people you're genuinely interested in because you, in some way, find them inspiring, find them interesting, find their work to be very good, or find their thoughts to be very amusing, entertaining, or important for you, right? So you can add all these sorts of people. But if you add just about anybody, it is only going to create a lot of chaos and a lot of noise on your feed. And oftentimes, because people are only talking about their achievements, only talking about their successes on LinkedIn, there can be a little bit of uh, an overdo of looking at people's achievements and people's successes, right? So you don't need to add just about everybody because then it can create a sense of overwhelm when you get that sort of insight into people's lives. Nobody's coming here to share failures, and even when people share failures, they're going to be humble brags. Nobody will genuinely admit failure or the fact that they're having a hard time. So add people in moderation always helps. Next up is how to decide what your networking goals are. We have already talked about why all of you have made your LinkedIn profiles. Many of you have also shared your goals in the chat box. So let's look at what these goals could be and how can you quantify them so that you have an idea of whether you are progressing or not, right? The first important thing is to know what stage are you at. Like I said, if you are a student, if you don't have a lot of experience, then you are in the position to seek a loan. So are you a seeker? Are you a giver? Are you in between things? Are you switching? Are you just wondering or wandering? There are a lot of ways in which you can identify. The next is, what is the concrete thing that you're looking for? Mentorship, internship, job, exposure, knowledge. Write it down. Make it very, very specific that this is what I'm looking for, right? And then seek that everywhere instead of seeking everything at the same time. The next is to write down a one-liner statement, which becomes a mission statement and gives you a little bit of a purpose and structure to why you are on LinkedIn. So 5 years ago, my personal goal was to use LinkedIn to connect with as many marketeers as possible and learn from them. And that's what I did. I took out a list of all the big advertising companies across India in all the big cities. And I sent a connection request to as many people as I could. Down the line, it helped me learn a lot. I was able to look at a lot of people's profiles and see what their career trajectory looked like. People who have been 5 years into the business, people who have been 20 years into the business. And that helped me navigate my career very well. That helped me visualize myself in the future and make a lot of decisions accordingly. The most valuable thing that I've done for myself uh, on my own independence. The other thing is that yes, it helped me get a lot of work. And because I was associated with such people, by association, I started to pop up in the searches for writers. And that helped me get a lot of work when I was just starting out. So my LinkedIn became very, very active. Right now, you will see that there is a lot of emphasis on personal branding and how you showcase yourself. But knowing whom to add and whom to connect with is equally as important. The next is use LinkedIn to reflect on your long term and short term goals, the goals that you actually have in life and not your LinkedIn goals. So, in the long term, you could want to be known for the kind of work that you do and be, the best at it. But in order to get there, there are small little things that you need to do. Maybe a particular job that you need to apply for, and how do you find that? You can make a roadmap for that. And finally, to edit your profile to match your goals. And it's very important to have a goal in the first place to be able to do that. Now, talking about uh, how to measure these goals, LinkedIn provides insights in a lot of different ways. Number one is profile views, like I showed you the views for my profile. Look at other people's profiles, they will also look at it. That's one of the simplest ways. Second, write interesting stuff so that people get curious about you and land on your profile. Right? It shows whether you are generating any real interest or not. And if the interest is low, then maybe change something in your profile and figure something else out. But every piece of data tells you something. The next is the quality of connection. Are you connected with the right people in your field? Are you connected with the people who can help you with your goals? Right? So people who can offer you jobs, mentorship, who have done the thing that you want to do. The next is engagement on your posts. The simple rule of getting engagement is to engage first. Comment on other people's stuff, you will start getting comment on your stuff. Probably not from the same people, but LinkedIn pushes your content if you become active in supporting other people. Same goes for your likes and shares. And with whatever goals you have, make sure to just check in with yourself and look back at the journey you've had so far. The next is actually the last year. After this, we are open to questions. But the last thing is to think about LinkedIn ethics and best practices. I would love for all of you to participate in this part of the discussion, whether you have felt that LinkedIn needs to be a better place, it needs to be regulated better, it needs to be utilized better by people, right? Or at some point, it stops feeling like a professional platform. So the first thing here is to be just yourself. Be honest. Come as you are. Do not exaggerate the stuff that you have done. Oftentimes it doesn't end up well because people know you in real life, right? People have this habit of maybe attending an online course from IIM and writing in their headline that they are IIM alum, which is not true. But just writing that gives them so much social media clout, which later on turns out to be false. And people are very quick to call that out on LinkedIn. So practice a little bit of honesty and authenticity before you do anything as such. Um, the next is when you reach out to people, make sure that you're respecting their space, make sure that you're respecting the fact that you have access to them. It's okay to reach out to somebody once, maybe follow up twice, max thrice, but don't spam them. Don't spam them back to back. Even if you want to follow up with somebody on a conversation, keep a gap of a week, maybe keep a gap of 4 days. That's good, right? The other is don't steal people's content. That is a very, very prevalent practice on LinkedIn. People just rip off something that somebody else is famous for and very easily get it. The next is to engage with integrity. Write stuff that you actually mean. Don't write because it sounds cool. Don't write because you think people will like it. The reason is for you to build a sustained audience, it is very important that you engage with the same set of people, with the same set of ideas, and go deeper into what you believe in instead of covering a broad array of topics. The last is professionalism. We have discussed that from a few different angles in terms of the presentation of your profile. That's very, very important to build trust. And the last is privacy. Do not put things on LinkedIn that are not supposed to be LinkedIn on LinkedIn. A lot of people end up posting about fights at their workplace. A lot of people end up posting personal emails and screenshots. It can backfire very, very badly, and it does not look good when you are in a professional space. So these are a few things. Don't send unsolicited DMs. Do not send DMs when you have nothing to talk about. Always have some content. Even if you want to appreciate somebody's good work, that don't send a blank hi. Always write hi. Hope you're doing well. And whatever is it that you want to talk about, right? You're not sliding into anybody's DMs here. You are talking to them in a professional manner, and it is expected out of you that you know what you're talking about. Don't ask people, what do you do? I get so many such DMs where people are asking me, what do you do? Uh, and it shows that they've not even read my headline properly. So, yeah, these are a few of the things worth keeping in mind when you're starting out on your LinkedIn journey. Um, the last thing that I have for everyone here is that I would like you to now take the first step in your LinkedIn journey, for which your bio is going to be very, very important. So, what we can do is after this session, all of us can huddle in the Scout group chat. Many of you are already a part of it. If you're not, feel free to scan the QR and join us there. Draft your LinkedIn bio, send it in. I will be happy to give you feedback on it, edit it, and we can do that for each other. Let's make it a little lively. Let's make it easy for us to approach each other and get to know each other while helping each other out. So, if you want to get feedback on your bio, maybe edit it together, maybe get some insight or get any questions answered, join the Scout group chat for that. And this is all that I had today. I am open to any questions that you have. Anya, please go ahead.
Okay, so what if the internship I am looking for and what if the profession I'm going for are not related at all? How do I look for internships?
The course you are studying and the internship that you want are not related, right?
Yeah,
So essentially, you want to pivot. Would you be comfortable sharing what is it that you're currently doing and what is it that you want to do?
I'm still a student and my results are yet to come out. And
Mm.
if it turns out to be good, I'll be joining medical college. But then I'm trying to freelance for like virtual assistant. Okay. So I want to be a virtual assistant and I guess that suits me better for now as like a side hustle. So I don't know how to seek for internships.
Okay. So side hustles are completely acceptable and they're not really a pivot. They're just supplementing something that you're doing right now, a journey that you are on. Because when you become a medical student, you would still have time or interests in other things, or you might want to just, make extra money on the side. So all of those are possible. Um, the first thing is that you write this very, very clearly in your headline and in your bio. Medical student, but before that, virtual assistant, right? So, virtual assistant slash medical student or aspiring medical or medicine student. You can write that. Second, the content that you post on LinkedIn can be about your work as a virtual assistant. There are a lot of ways in which you can approach that. Write about the stuff that you want to do. What is the importance of a virtual assistant? How have you helped people in the past? The more you write about this, the more you will appear in search results for virtual assistant roles, and the more people will know about you. So it's completely okay and it's completely doable if having two different things is what you want. And right now, you anyway would not be using LinkedIn directly for medicine. So yeah, completely possible.
Thank you so much.
Aslan, would you like to quickly share the downloadable in the group chat?
Yeah.
Arisha is asking, should one post their own quotations and thoughts? Um, Arisha, this is a subjective question because here, the quotations and thoughts that you have, are these pertaining to the work that you do? Do these pertain to any idea that you want to share regarding work? Because once in a while it's okay, but if you do that repeatedly, it will send out a confusing message about what exactly uh, are you trying to communicate to people. And it is going to have an impact on your brand recall. Brand recall is basically what is the one thing that you reach out to me for, right? And if there is no clear messaging in that, then it becomes a little difficult for people to remember you. So there is a downloadable in the group for all of you. This downloadable is a concentration or is a concentrate of everything that we have talked about right now. Arslan, would you like to tell more about uh, the document that you have just shared?
Sure. I mean, we'll just share the document on the screen once and show it quickly. We'll just talk about it.
Sure.
Just one second. Okay. So what we just talked about, what Pooja just helped you guided you with, what we have done is something that you can look back at to understand how to and what to do with LinkedIn, right? It just talks about the importance of it, why it matters, what are the key components. If you're putting a photo, what kind of a photo should be there, the banner, everything basically just written down in in bullet forms to make you understand how exactly you're supposed to go about creating your profile, and then finally utilizing LinkedIn as well, right? So if you look at these profile photos, is given given a link here, which will take you to a page which talks about what kind of photos should you be posting and what kind of photo you should have. Goes and breaks it down a little more for you to understand, so that your LinkedIn is more attractive and something that can catch an eye, right? What kind of a banner you should have. If we are talking about the headline, as we were just talking about it through the workshop, what kind of a headline you should be writing. What exactly in the about section should be there. What we've done here is we've written down the three questions, which basically will help you curate your about section. So what you are and what you're studying or working on, what excites you in your field, what you're currently looking for. So these questions will help you direct your about section very clearly.
Aslan,
Uh,
I cannot see the document being shared. One second. Yes, I can see it. Please go ahead. Sorry.
yeah.
Please go.
Then talking about your experience, what all you need to mention, how exactly do you need to mention it, your internships, your jobs, your projects, all in bullet form. So it's an expanded version of the CV, as Pooja was talking about, right? So how exactly you're going to write that, and how each entry is going to look. So we have broken it down into bullet formats for you to better understand it, and what common mistakes you should be avoiding. So this will help you guide you in making your LinkedIn more approachable and more something that a recruiter would be happy to look at and understand you much better, right? If you're talking about your education, your skills, your projects, any certifications you've got, recommendations that you have an option of getting. So all these things, all the quick do's and don'ts of it that you can keep in mind. And finally, this ends with a content calendar. So we've put a screenshot of a content calendar of what it looks. This really helps if you want to be regular with LinkedIn, where you can have a weekly or a monthly content calendar where you can sit down once on a weekend or a Sunday and just brainstorm multiple ideas in your domain that you would want to talk about. Put it on ChatGPT, create how you can write them, how it can be made more approachable into a post format, or even for that matter into a blog format, and putting that all down into the content calendar so that you have the entire month planned out, so that you can be more consistent with your posting. So this document is just going to be a blueprint for everything that you need to do and you need to avoid while you are working or doing anything. This is what the document is on.
Thank you so much, Aslan. Uh, I hope all of you made good use of this doc. If you have any questions, feel free to ask our host in the Scout big chat. Um, Looking forward to any more questions. Please feel free to bring them in.
Hi,
Um,
I had a question. So uh, I'll continue.
Sure, sure.
So actually, I am a second year medical student, and was I am on the lookout for some internships right now, like for a side hustle. But so I want to, in the long run, I'm hoping to be able to work in motorsports as well. Haven't exactly specifically decided what field or something, but mostly either related to medical or into journalism. Like, because I'm a fairly good writer, um, content writer and such. Well, so I've been struggling with like being able to connect and what posts shall I share like that. So how do I go about it?
All right. So Janvi, just so that I get it right, you are currently a second
Mm,
year medicine student and you would like to have
yes,
chance of working as a writer, as a journalist as well, and maybe have a side hustle, right?
yes, both.
All right. So in that case, this is very similar to what I said to another person who is also waiting for her medicine result,
Mm,
um, which is that it is just a second, right? So what you can do is talk about why is it that you enjoy writing, why is it that you want to write. Use the LinkedIn search box to find opportunities for internships or freelance work. A lot of times, recruiters will simply share it there. Then you have the jobs tab on LinkedIn. Feel free to use it as much as you can and find, and I'm sure you will find your first opportunity there. Second, again, is that you use your LinkedIn profile with the right keywords to make sure that you are searchable.
okay, like
Right?
what kind of
Aslan,
keywords?
right. Aslan, you have anything to add to that? In terms of keywords, content writer, copywriter, advertising, marketing, or maybe the specific niche in which you want to uh, write and be more accessible in terms of search. Aslan, meanwhile, you can cover something about having a portfolio for discoverability.
Yeah, so I'm just adding to what Pooja had mentioned about how you're supposed to portray it on your LinkedIn. What generally also helps for people those who are looking for a little side gigs is obviously as you're a student in medicine or you're trying for something right now, but you still require some other source of income. Uh, for specifically for students those who are doing medicine or doing something streamlined, but they are looking for something other than that, having a portfolio that really helps out. If you're a writer, having a short small work which you can portray, and you can even put it on LinkedIn, and also different platforms where you can portray that work, it really helps out to get you more gigs. And again, as mentioned earlier, you need to have the right keywords in your profile so that when being searched upon, your name does pop up. And when you're talking about what you should be posting, you can always look at what are the shortcomings in your industry or the industry you're trying to work in. Let's say content writing. You can talk about client relationships. You can write about what it takes to be a writer. There are a lot many things you can look up, and you can write. And for that matter, writing short posts, creating it through ChatGPT is the easiest way to go. So instead of sitting and spending weeks thinking about, oh, what should I write? It's much better you have two, three ideas, put it on ChatGPT, and help it find you more ideas similar to what you're thinking. And you'll get an entire month worth of content for you to post.
Thank you, Arslan. That was actually very practical and something that I missed out on discussing. Um,
Janvi
I've
has
been
written
getting
on the
updates about
yeah.
internships and jobs, but then also also my previous experience. So you are on absolutely the right track, Janvi. When you don't have official experience, you still have to creating your own experience by uh, having your own samples, giving yourself creative challenges and fulfilling them so that you can showcase what is it that you can do. I hope that helps. Anybody, any other question?
Hello, my name's Akshay. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, hi, Akshay, you're audible.
Okay. I had a bunch of, somewhat complex doubts. What I wanted to ask is that, let's say I'm kind of a, jack of all trades and master of none kind of guy, and I'm still a student. I don't have any kind of LinkedIn profiles at all till now. And Till now, I am an editor, individually operated editor, and I still do gigs based on mouth marketing stuff and all. Uh,
Hmm.
I do this stuff solely because I wanna have some sides hustle so that I can how can I put it? So I want to do this stuff because I'm somewhat passionate about it, along with the marketing and the connection I can achieve upon. What I wanted to ask is that I am currently pursuing computer science and stuff, and I'm currently in the process of learning to be a DevOps. Uh, so now, let's say that I am an editor by passion, and also being in the process of DevOps. So when creating a LinkedIn profile, can I just, merge both of these talent? No, I wouldn't say talent, both of these, different domains together in a single profile, or do you recommend me to, create separate profiles for both of these?
Okay. Loaded question. Let's deal with all parts of it one by one. Number one, to have two separate profiles, not recommended because essentially it is the same space, it is the same background qualifications, etc. It will lead to confusions if people look at the same person doing two separate things. Like on Instagram, you can have one account for your photography and another account for your poetry, right? On LinkedIn, that wouldn't be advisable because credibility matters more than expression of creativity. Second, you're doing something that is more technical, and then you're doing something that is a little more creative. Not exactly the same field, so there aren't a lot of overlaps. Uh, do you pursue DevOps also in a full-time capacity or freelance capacity? And are you currently learning it? Are you gaining the skill
Yeah,
or
I'm currently in the process of learning it, doing some basic projects for, let's say that I do this DevOps project for other people so that they can, so that they can have it for their own reasons. And I hope sure you do get it. Why do they want it for? I'm
right?
currently in the process of doing these things.
All
So
right.
I want to connect with more people, to make my experience better as well as to connect with better people. So yeah.
Hmm. So, what happens in that case is that one of these would probably become your main thing, which I think is going to be DevOps, and the other is going to be a freelance thing or a side gig thing. When you're doing a side gig, you look for it more and more, and you look for it more often. And when you have a job, you look for it once in a few months for a big project, right? So more posting can be done for the other things. And for DevOps, you can directly filter out jobs from the job section and reach out to people with a DM, with a more personalized DM when you need it. And the other stuff, in which leads will keep coming and going, experience will keep coming and going. You can have that. Uh, you can engage in that more actively. Arsan, anything that you would want to add?
I think I'll just add this one thing. I think this is going around a lot about side gigs. Understand that LinkedIn is about your professional standing, who you are professionally. Any side gig that you do, you can find it on LinkedIn, but it cannot be the center stage of your profile. So any side gigs that you do, there are different platforms for finding the jobs. But if that is something that you are trying for people to, when they are searching for somebody in that line, and you want that they look for you as well, then your profile needs to be about that. LinkedIn is about one thing. You can have multiple things written down on your profile that I do this as well. That I'm like, I can write that I am I have published poetry. That can be a thing, but that doesn't mean that I'm a writer. This is one thing extra that I do. But anybody who looks for a poetry writer or a writer in general, they'll not look at Arslan Basit. If they're looking at a higher education consultant, my name will pop up there because that is my main gig, right? So you need to understand that when you are looking at the two aspects of your professional domain, which is the primary one? And that is what you are trying to show on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not like Instagram, as Pooja said. You cannot have two profiles, one of photography and other for family and friends. It's not like that. It's a professional setup where professionally you are one person. One person who does this, who's known for XYZ. But anything else, which is a side gig, as you call it, there is Upwork, there is a lot many places where you can create profiles and look for jobs, and that portfolio will work very well in those spaces, and you'll keep getting jobs over there. And you can always look for recruiters or job postings on LinkedIn, and in the chat box send them your work and say that this is the work I have done and I'm interested in the offering that you have right now. But LinkedIn is all about one particular thing that you are known for. So it has to be, choose your domain, stick to that, and make your profile according to that. You can always have an extra thing in it, but it cannot be something that you will be found for on LinkedIn.
Thank you. And if you guys don't mind, I have another small, I don't say small, but yeah, I have another doubt. Uh, let's say that since I can, I will follow DevOps as my primary perspective. Let's say that I'm definitely gonna have a, something called as a GitHub accounts and stuff. So that makes it a primary recognition for something for a, software guy.
Yeah.
Can I put that, GitHub profile in my LinkedIn? Is that gonna work or is it gonna clash with, as you just said?
No, you can have the links to your work on your profile right in the top places. Top column, you have an option of adding your profile. You can also put a link to it where it says contact me, or uh, get a quote and things like that. You have an option over there, so people click it, they'll be able to reach the work that you have.
Yeah, no problem with that. In fact, show it very proudly, the work that
Yeah.
you're doing, and the fact that you are excelling at both fronts. No problem
No
with that.
problem.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for clearing my doubt. And this was a good educational session for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. We are approaching the hard limit of 7:30. It's a weekend after all. I'm sure everybody will be off doing better things. I think we can take two more questions. Anybody? Anything you have on your mind that you would like to ask?
Can I ask something?
Yes, Janvi, please go ahead.
This just made me think, since I am a writer, I can basically post about any topic, like anything from medical field to something more creative, as in like personal reflections, sort of, and also then skip to like things like how would I analyze, say, um, crashes or something like that in motorsports and from a medical perspective and all. Can I show two, three such areas? Like,
So, Janvi, what you write about is what you get known for. And if you write about two different things, it will make it a bit confusing for your audience to recall you, to remember you, first. And second, which of these is the priority? Which of these is more important to talk about on a platform such as LinkedIn? Because regarding your motorsports thing, your writing thing, it will be better if you are able to write more about that and show people that you are available and willing to work. Whereas when you are a medicine student, you might not be actively looking for as many opportunities because the internships that you will be doing are not simply found on LinkedIn, as far as my experience goes, right? So you won't need LinkedIn that actively for the medicine side of your work. You will need it more
mm,
actively for the other things. But yes, whatever
yeah.
you're going through, whatever you're experiencing as a medicine student, your observations, your thoughts, definitely share them as reflections. But
Sorry,
when
I
it
couldn't hear the last part, the reflections part.
so whatever you are experiencing as a medicine student, share that as reflections. And
Okay.
everything that you are learning otherwise or want to showcase to the world, That could be about the motor sports part of your profile.
Okay. That explains it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you go on with
Mm,
both of the things together, I think at
mm,
some point it will get too much for you. And second,
mm,
people will not have a reason to remember you and quickly
mm,
reach out to you when they're looking for something in particular. And for medicine, you won't need LinkedIn that much unless you are
No.
looking for a job switch down the line.
Yeah, it's mostly for content creation, the content writing mostly. Sort.
Yeah, yeah, right. Any other questions, anybody?
Um, I have one. Okay.
Please go
Okay. So I am into writing, but more of a technical writing. Like I am into writing proposals and all. I want to pivot into more of a creative writing genre, like maybe copywriting, advertising. So how should I work towards making that transition?
So, two ways. Number one is to find work and start doing that work so that you can build your portfolio. And
Mhm.
second, while you are waiting to build that portfolio, create your own portfolio by doing sample tasks. You can
Okay.
find inspiration anywhere. Sell something mundane. Create a campaign around that. Use Canva, use ChatGPT to generate graphics. If you are working all by yourself, use tools. Take up anything, rebrand it. For
Mhm.
example, take a mobile phone, take a soft drink. How would you reimagine it in your vision? Think about anything that interests you, cosmetics, if I may say. There is such creative work happening in the cosmetic and skincare space, right? Take
Right.
inspiration from some of those. There are several trends. A few years ago, a lot of it was about sustainability, cruelty-free vegan. Now
Mm.
it's about locally made smaller homegrown brands, right? You
Mhm.
want to
Right.
support smaller brands.
Right.
In the future, it will be something else. So, how can you make a campaign around these features for any particular brand? You can do that, and then you have all these topicals coming up. Like we had Mother's Day, Father's Day. Uh, Later in the year, we'll have all our general festivals coming in. Write something creative around those. Pick up an issue, just write something about it, post it on your LinkedIn. That's how you start changing your perception in the minds of people from a technical to a creative writer. And second, the magic lies in keyword optimization. If your profile still says technical writer, proposal writer, writing proposals for grants, helping PhD students or helping companies, then that's the kind of work that you're going to get. But if you start
Mhm.
positioning yourself as a copywriter, as a creative writer, as a thinker, then that's the kind of work that you are more likely to get. And lastly, something that I've said over and over again, use the jobs tab to find relevant work, apply to as many places as you can. Whatever work you get, do it, add it to your portfolio. And that is how you will be able to pivot from one niche to the other.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Pooja. This was a very informative session.
Thank you very much. Any questions from anybody before we close?
One last doubt is of mine. And following that previous doubt, let's say that the bio section and there's an headline section. Uh,
Hmm.
well, if someone or if I sent a connection request to someone, what matters more, the bio or the headlines?
The headline matters more because when you send them a connection request, that is what they will be able to see very quickly when they hit accept or reject. If they are interested more, they will go to your profile, but again, the headline will appear first. If they are even more interested, they will stop and read your entire bio. Even when people are not reading your bio, because of keyword integration is very, very important. So both have their own meaning. The bio allows you to express more freely. The headline is more targeted, but both are very, very important in their own ways.
Okay, thank you.
Right, right. Um, so I think that's it for today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp. A lot of us originally connected there. Um, you can also use the Scout group chat to send in any questions you have, anything that you feel you've not been able to ask yet. And we shall stay in touch. You will receive updates about any upcoming webinar that we have. If there is anything else that Arslan and I can help you with, we will be happy to do so. I hope the session helped you, and I hope all of you got something practical that you can apply out of the session today, and that there is a little bit of motivation to go back to your LinkedIn and put in some creative effort there to express yourself better. And I hope you're able to meet all the goals that you set for yourself. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. We will be signing out now.